What is Nishchaya? The word Nishchaya, or firm determination, is derived from the root verb chi, with its multiple meanings such as to collect, to gather, to accumulate, to search, look out for, or to look steadfastly upon, to observe, to see and perceive, to seek for, and to respect. From the verb chi come the words chaya, meaning collection, and nishchaya, meaning firmness or determination. These words have many meanings, out of which we will discuss only the following: collection or gathering, clear knowledge, conviction, firm determination or resolution, decision, firmness in the belief or faith of the words of the Guru Preceptor. Collecting by choice. In every step of modern life, we have to choose, and it is in this decision-making that success, failure, happiness, or unhappiness lies. There is no end to the variety available to us. When we go to the market to purchase clothes, we are shown many different articles in various styles, designs, and colors. There are so many attractive options that we sometimes become confused and unable to decide what to and even what not to buy. The human attitude is to collect more than we really need. Our need is little, but our greed has no limit, and thus we constantly feel the urge to spend more and more to appease it. We also have to earn greater amounts of money and dedicate larger chunks of our precious time to work for and take care of our things. The mind is rarely content. It is almost never at rest. Its nature is to grasp for extra, just like a child in a room full of toys. Shots fired. When the mind is clean and clear, and the goal is firmly in our front, then we can make good and healthy choices. Imagine if, for most of the day, every day, the mind was at rest. If your work was transformed into worship, and as a result of your disciplined practice of devotion, the mind was still and tranquil, and the body, mind, and spirit, body, mind, breath, and emotion, were in perfect harmony, and therefore were in a state of peace. That would be a beautiful way to experience life. We would be able to appreciate life in a way that seems hard to imagine. Humans are gifted with choices. If humans are indeed faced with a multitude of alternatives, how then can we make good and healthy choices? The good news is that in addition to having many options, we are also blessed with the discriminative capacity to make healthy choices. Take food, for example. Animals have no choice about their food habits. They are born either as carnivores, herbivores, or omnivores. They live with their God-given, ingrained instincts. Humans, however, have been blessed with many alternatives, and we have also been gifted with an intellect to decide and to choose. Choices are there because of alternatives and our capacity and our capability. In ashrams and homes in India, for breakfast or lunch, there will be almost no alternatives, nor many choices. One must eat what one is served. The only decision is whether to take more or less of it. There is no alternative. But in the West, in many families, choice is there. Choice is there when there are alternatives or varieties of opportunities. If there is no multiplicity in opportunities, what choice does one have? When a child wants breakfast, we place a few alternatives or choices in front of him or her. However, even people in their advanced age are not able to decide many things in their life. If we still get confused even when we are old, then how can we expect a young child to have the capability to make a sound decision? Nevertheless, despite the confusion caused by so many choices, an intelligent child can make a decision. We must inform the child about many things in life, both the good and the bad. We must share what we have learned from our own experience about what is right and what is wrong. Moreover, this knowledge should also be communicated to others for whom it may be helpful. Always remember, lead by example. Your actions, your words will never speak to the volume with the same kind of power to transform as your actions will. Humans can also make choices about lifestyles, daily routine, reading materials, clothes, homes, jobs, friends, and other relationships. We have been privileged with this God-given opportunity, but a large majority of people suffer due to having made wrong choices and decisions, perhaps because their mind is confused. Even after we have decided what to do, the mind tricks us into thinking that we have made the wrong decision, and we second-guess ourselves. When doubt lingers, we become miserable again. Should I change it or stay with it? Making sound decisions can indeed be confusing at any stage of life, but intelligent people can usually make wise ones. Choices must be made with a healthy mind and careful, clear consideration. We must also learn to stick to them and take strict and positive steps towards Anyways, choices must be made with a healthy mind and careful, clear consideration. We must also Henry, focus. We must also learn to stick to them and take strict and positive steps towards terminating some of our bad habits and plans. This requires inner strength and is the meaning behind the expression, where there is no termination, there is no determination. If we are firm and determined, success is in our hands. Confusion only leads to indecision and chaos. Therefore, whether the choices we have to make relate to our secular, professional, personal, or spiritual life, we have to be firm and steady. We have been blessed with 4 inner instruments: the mind, intellect, ego, and memory. If we keep them healthy and clear, our choices and decisions will likewise be clear, firm, and unchanging. But we must deal with our mind and its old impressions and fears. It is never content. Even in our spiritual life, we often have problems making and sticking to good decisions. How do these 4 instruments assist us in making better choices? The memory reminds us of related past experiences, which helps us understand things more clearly. Our ego gives us inner strength as we mature spiritually and works to free the mind of confusion and doubt, freeing up our intellect to make healthy decisions. In other words, we have to keep these 4 instruments healthy and dynamic in order to make good decisions. Unfortunately, our modern education lacks in providing good training and orientation to these inner instruments. The result is there is too much unrest and chaos in personal, social, and global life. It is a problem of education. Nishchaya means having clear knowledge, being firm in one's understanding, and then living accordingly. If we have this, we will save ourselves time and turmoil and will be peaceful and content. Freedom from doubt. Nishchaya also implies being free from doubt, being free of doubt. By nature, the mind is doubtful and restless. Doubtful and confused people are always in trouble because they are unable to make good decisions or choices. Our minds are our very own doubting Thomas. This expression refers to St. Thomas who, despite having lived with Jesus, doubted and wanted to verify whether the resurrection really happened. We need to make our mind devoted and dedicated. But how? Cleaning it from doubt and confusion begins with our food habits. We should eat and drink healthily and in moderation. Moreover, we should exercise regularly and go for walks outdoors in the fresh air. Breath regulation helps a lot too, as do meditation and contemplation. Contemplation is that's it, man. That's like the biggest thing I've been learning lately. If you feel like you're in confusion, or if you feel like you need direction or stability mentally, start asking yourself questions. Ask why, ask what, ask as many different questions as you can. Ask why you're doing this, ask what the purpose of life is, ask who your family is, ask what you really care about, ask God what he needs. Like, ask as many questions as you can, and breathe love. Apart from that, we should keep our mind motivated and inspired. When the mind is free from doubt, it becomes a sacred temple of love and peace. A cheerful mind is the door to joyful living. We should therefore always train the mind to be strong and healthy. Another meaning of Nishchaya is firmness of belief in the words of the Guru Preceptor, which is essential for those pursuing a spiritual life. The relationship between the Guru Preceptor and the student is noble, loving, and divine. It is unique as it is truly a relationship where there are not worldly expectations. Guru Preceptors are torchbearers of ancient spiritual wisdom, using modern applications to show the way to sincere seekers on the path of spirituality and inner transformation. Generously and unconditionally, they also hand down age-old spiritual knowledge to us. Their only desire is to help. Their teachings that are recorded in the form of sacred books or spiritual texts are also treasure houses of wisdom. However, if our mind is not clean and clear, and our intellect is not sharp or receptive, we cannot hold and behold their teachings. We try to advance on the spiritual journey by reading, attending lectures, or studying texts, but because of our confused and doubting mind, these things are not enough. In order to progress, firmness of trust and a truly faithful practice will also be required. This type of firmness, or Nishchaya, is indeed the real catalyst for our spiritual momentum. No fear, God is everywhere. The last meaning of Nishchaya we will discuss is fearlessness. Fear is rooted in insecurity, a lack of confidence, loneliness, and above all, not believing in God and His loving plan and providence. We have come to this world empty-handed and alone, and also have to leave the world that way. Our life here is a temporary one. We have already walked a long way and had a lot of experiences, both pleasant and unpleasant. We have seen how disease and disasters come and go, leaving a footprint of misery and despair. Despite facing many unforeseen challenges, we must learn to accept life as a divine opportunity and make the best use of it. How do we rid ourselves of fear? Walking the path of spirituality brings self-confidence, trust, and the acceptance of God's presence. Walking the path of spirituality, walking the walk, not talking about it, walking the path of spirituality brings self-confidence, trust, and the acceptance of God's presence. Mistakes breed fear in the mind and heart. By living in His presence, spiritual people do no wrong to others. Their behavior is naturally kind and loving, and thus they have no reason to feel fear or loneliness. They know that God is everywhere and in everything. Knowledge opens the door to freedom and liberation, the experience of truth and reality. Our goal is to live with it all the time, in every breath, and with determination and firmness. As a liquid, water is neither firm nor has form, but when it becomes ice, it solidifies and can assume different shapes. Our mind experiences similar volatility and restlessness. Instead, we should make it firm and determined through the coolness of love and compassion, as well as constant care and attention. Therefore, we must put a little effort into making the right decisions about our goal in life, and we should work hard to proceed swiftly and achieve it. Life is a compromise. Two types of people live completely aloof to others: those who are highly spiritually evolved and those who are completely crazy or insane. Belonging to neither of these categories, we can safely say that we are somewhere in between, and thus it is our duty to find compromising solutions wherever conflict exists. Compromise is always necessary on the spiritual path. Although our family, professional, and community commitments require us to dedicate time to others, we must also allocate time for ourselves and for our own introspection, as it is a healthy tool for inner development. Finding balance between all these responsibilities is a fine but necessary balance. Running away from our communal roles and obligations is not an option. We are social beings and must therefore learn to live with and dedicate time to others with love and kindness, as well as accept our social responsibilities. To be clear, the news does not tell you this, so stop paying attention to the news and start paying attention to start practicing love and devotion. If you practice love and devotion, you will be grounded in truth. We are social beings and must therefore learn to live with and dedicate time to others with love and kindness, as well as accept our social responsibilities. Our social responsibilities are not to put on a mask every time that we walk out of our house and to live in fear. Our social responsibilities are to live with discipline and devotion to our duties and responsibilities. By doing that, we will earn freedom from things like fear, doubt, and vulnerability, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We will earn invulnerability. Together, we will earn our freedom. Together. We are social beings and must therefore learn to live with and dedicate time to others with love and kindness, as well as accept our social responsibilities. At the same time, we must aim for greater inner understanding, moderation, and detachment, because a true spiritual life is not selfish, self-centered, or egotistical. It is one that is spent in service of others. We should not be a burden to others or even on the society. We should not live the life of a parasite. Our life is of our own spiritual development. Our destiny is in our hands. A clear picture of spiritual life can help us determine what kind of life we want to live. We should learn to accept our situation, live with a positive attitude, accept everything as a gift from the divine, and remain inwardly detached. No matter if we are alone or with others, we should never be unhappy. In accepting our role as it is, we should thus play it in a nice way and remain in God consciousness. The root verb chi of Nishchaya means to respect and to observe. We should thus develop self-esteem and learn to respect others at the same time. We should observe our mind, thoughts, emotions, and reactions, as well as our conduct towards others. In these ways, Swami Satmarama Yogindra shows us that those who are firm, determined, and devoted will surely have quick success in life. Detach from uncertainty, a possessive nature, the accumulation of unnecessary things, unnecessary worries and useless thoughts, frequently changing our mind and decisions, doubt, confusion, and contradiction, and non-conducive environments. Attach to collecting good thoughts and ideas, living in good company, being firm in our resolutions, love for the Guru Preceptor, and especially his teachings, keeping the mind, intellect, ego, and memory healthy and dynamic, fearlessness, God, and goodness. Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari Tenatanarana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari Tenatanarana Vasudeva. Have a beautiful day.
Yes. I love you.